Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News Mornings.
Right now on CBS News Boston, a wintry mix poised to move on in. We have snow. We also have rain with warming temperatures and gusty winds. Lots of details we'll discuss coming up.
If it never snowed, I'd be happy.
Also this morning, not everyone's so enthusiastic about the storm. Some schools have already closed. Crews are ready to hit the roads to clear them. We're live with the latest conditions as the storm rolls in.
Plus, testimony continues today in the murder trial of Brian Walshe. We'll tell you what we're expecting on day 2.
Just proud of them for working hard and learning this offense and staying on the same page and being on the same page all night and doing a great job.
And the Patriots now claim the top spot in the NFL with their 10th straight win in a row. Levens at Gillette breaking down a dominant victory over the Giants. Good morning. Thanks for joining us as we take a look at a beautiful sunrise before the storm on this Tuesday, December 2nd. I'm Paula Evan.
I'm Chris Tanaka. That might be the last we see of the sun
for a while.
Quite some time. Yeah, we're in this next weather alert. For some people, it's going to be rain. For others, a good dose of snow. Jason Michael is here with all the details. Jason?
Boy, oh boy. Good morning to you, Chris and Paula. The mothership is getting ready to land on New England later this morning. We are sort of kind of upticking a lot of the snow chances and rain chances across the board. With this next weather alert in effect, the vast majority of the 495 and 95 corridor north of the Mass Pike will be dealing with mainly rain. We'll have some snow north and west of town. Obviously, the higher elevations get the most of the snow. And we're also going to be steadily watching all day long the changeover line between rain and snow as we get deeper into the afternoon and the evening hours. The keep timeline later today here, friends, will be roughly around 9 a.m. through about midnight later tonight. This is going to be an all-day affair, unfortunately. Again, we are talking about those numbers being at least a half foot up to a foot of snow in some of the higher elevations, northern Mass. We're talking about areas in southern New Hampshire and also Vermont picking up on some steady snow showers as well. The evening commute is going to be extremely messy. The morning commute right now is pretty much A-OK. Just a lot of clouds outside and also our first few morning flakes also beginning to happen. These are the new numbers that we have, everybody. Okay, we're updating these numbers as we steadily get more model runs in and we see just how this storm system is formulating itself. 1 to 3 inches inside the 495 corridor, closer to the city of Boston. It really begins to fall off because we will have slowly warming temperatures above the freezing mark as we near the noon hour later today. Now, western areas, central and also northern Worcester County, you're talking about a 3 to 6 incher there for you and nearly a foot of snow north of the state line. This follows suit right along with our friends there at National Weather Service, putting an advisory right around 495, closer to 95. That means that we stand a good chance of getting a few inches of snow. But you see that warning includes the vast majority of Worcester County, northern Mass, even up into the Vermont as well as New Hampshire. Look at this mess of a situation. Just a couple hours from now is going to be right over us. We're going to talk about much more about this coming up in the full weather forecast.
All right, sounds good, Jason. Now for a look at the roadways this morning, and you can see from our drive times, the red coming up from the south, the expressway. Oh boy, we've got the left lane blocked northbound just after exit 16. That's the Mass Pike South Station split right there. So the left lane is blocked. It's causing huge backups, and as you can see, coming up from the south, 45 minutes to get into the city. Of course, a number of school districts have closed today because of the wintry weather they're expecting, and you can see those running along the bottom of your screen.
And for communities expecting snow, people who live there, the DPW departments, they say they're all ready. WBZ Samantha Cheney is always ready. She's live in Littleton this morning before the snow flies. Sam, good morning.
Good morning, Paula. I like that. I'm always ready. You see, I got my big coat on today. Here in Littleton, you can see it is starting to snow. So for people who are heading out the door right now, you can expect that. Littleton isn't on the list of school districts closed just yet, but as the snow keeps coming our way, parents should be checking that list because it is continuously changing and you may see those changes, so don't be surprised. Yesterday, people were heading out, running their last-minute errands, getting groceries, picking up replacement shovels, and stocking up on ice melt. DPW crews have been installing equipment and loading gear to tackle the snow. According to an official in Fitchburg, that may be a challenge today since the city says they are low on contractors to plow the roads.
We're not getting as many contractors as we have had in the past years, but I think that as this season goes along, we may have some stragglers come in and see about signing up to join the party.
Now, digital signs like this one across the street from us right now, they are placed all across the region saying plow trucks wanted and asking people to call the DPW. So as we deal with this first snow, the DPW is asking everyone to be patient as they are getting out on the road this morning. Live here in Littleton, I'm Samantha Cheney, WBZ News.
All right, Samantha, thank you. Stay with WBZ and the Next Weather team all day for the latest forecast and travel conditions. You can also get updates anytime at WBZ.com.
Well, WBZ is your home for the Patriots, who have now won 10 games in a row. Drake May led the team in a blowout of the Giants in prime time. He threw 2 touchdowns as the Pats dominated 33-15.
And can you believe it? The Patriots now have the best record in the NFL. Levin is live inside Gillette Stadium. And Lev, they head into the bye week on an incredibly high note. I love to see Vrabel greeting everybody and that one clap thing they do in the locker room
so cool.
as a team.
Yeah.
It's just a great vibe.
It's a great vibe, and I'm sure Vrabel's going to do that better vibe when he gets to shave off his mustache today and say, okay, that's a done with that. Going to the game, I think the biggest concern the Patriots had was the offensive line. We talked about it all week long. How are they going to hold up against the Giants' pass rush? Well, guess what? Drake May was only sacked 3 times, but most of the game he was clean, and he was able to throw some dimes. Let's pick this game up. Pats taking on the Giants, and already the Patriots are up 10-0, and let's add to that. Drake May and Kayshon Boutte, just a pretty pass in the corner right there. Pats up 17-0, and the route was on. Now, my teammate Paula Abbott, she texted me at like 9:45 last night, Paula. I don't know what you were doing up, but then I saw this pass, and I was like, Paula's a rock star. She knows what she's doing. Drake May has every club in the bag, as Paula would say. It's Kyle Williams on that gorgeous out in the basket. Feet were down. Patriots went 33-15. The squad was ready for this one.
We want to come out here and start fast. And we knew this team has been up in a lot of games, and they got good players over there. They have some good talent, and we wanted to try to get on them fast.
Well, I'm happy to be at the bye. Happy to be where we're at. Continue to improve. We have to finish better, but at least we came out ready to go. We focused on being aggressive and attacking and keeping that mindset, and I think we did.
I will say this. It's good to see the Patriots win with the young talent that they're bringing to the table. You see the shot to Kayshon Boutte. He's been here for like a year and a half to 2 years. You see the shot to Kyle Williams. He's a rookie. And then Drake May is in his second year. And then when you watch on the other side how the Giants are kind of struggling with their rookies, it's one of those things where you feel good about how Mike Vrabel has brought along this young team, and they're playing with just a lot of force, and they're making sure the adversity is there, a mix of veterans, and getting everything together. And I will say this, Paula and Chris. And Paula, go get some sleep. I don't know what you're doing.
Hey, listen,
go get some sleep, Paula. I just don't understand. I don't even understand why you're texting me at 9:45 p.m.
I
Go
could
get some sleep.
not take my eyes away. It was so enjoyable every single minute. But I heard Mike Vrabel saying Drake May is his son's age. And all these guys are so young.
Yeah.
They're experiencing everything for the first time. It's just thrilling to watch.
Yeah. And I can't
even when we
believe
were talking about the players who are not going to be there, they were basically like rookies on the left tackle and the left guard. Yeah. And then they plugged in guys who were older. It's such a weird thing.
It really is a vibe. But yeah, it is. You remarked on this. They're so fun to watch, and it has happened so quickly.
Yes.
It was a chore to watch them the last couple of years, and now here we are. The good old days are back.
It is just the rest of the league has got to be furious watching this.
All right, Lev, good stuff. And of course, whenever they win, we just want to keep consuming, watching, talking. Well, here you go. Bert and Ernie talk football with Fourier tonight at 9 on TV 38. We'll stream it for you on YouTube. You can watch on the go on CBS News Boston. Now, the Pats' next game is going to be Sunday, December 14th. The Bills are coming to Foxborough. Kickoff currently for 1 o'clock right here on WBZ. But this is one of those games that could be flexed to Sunday night. We'll keep you posted on that.
Meantime, we are set to hear more testimony this morning in the trial of the Cohasset man accused of killing his wife.
Yeah, during opening statements yesterday, Brian Walsh's team claimed Anna Walshe died suddenly and then he panicked. WBZ's Penny Commit covering the trial for us. She has the latest from Dedham.
He never thought anybody would believe that Anna Walshe was alive one minute and dead the next.
An elaborate cover-up to protect his 3 children. That's how defense attorneys explained Brian Walsh's actions following his wife's death. The defense claims that Anna Walshe died suddenly in the couple's bedroom on New Year's Day 2023 after hosting a friend for dinner, and that Walshe found her body and panicked.
You will hear evidence in this case of sudden, unexplained death.
The defense wasted no time addressing Walsh's 2 recent admissions that he improperly disposed of Anna's body and misled the police investigation into her disappearance.
What would happen to their 3 boys?
Defense is telling us, is previewing for us that Brian Walshe is going to testify.
While a defendant testifying in their own trial is rare, legal analyst Jennifer Roman says it may be the only way to give credibility to the defense's theory.
The only person who can testify to what happened from the moment those people, their friends, left the house to when, Brian Walshe is claiming he found his wife dead is Brian Walshe.
Use your common sense. Don't leave it home.
But prosecutors say Walshe knew of his wife's alleged affair and planned to kill her after she missed Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve, pointing to disturbing searches made on their son's iPad.
It's searched. Best way to dispose of body parts after a murder.
Then,
New Year's Eve, but everything was fine.
Walsh's interviews with Cohasset Police Sergeant Harrison Schmidt in the days following Anna's disappearance, where he maintained the lie that Anna left home for a work emergency and never came back.
She's been having to cut back on family time, and it's been difficult for all of us.
The trial is going to pick up this morning with more testimony from that Cohasset police officer, followed by testimony from State Trooper Nicholas Garino. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because we also heard from him during Karen Reed's trial. In Dedham, I'm Penny Commit, WBZ News.
All right, Penny, and you can watch the live testimony of the Brian Walshe trial streaming right here on CBS News Boston. You can find it on the CBS News app. Watch from your laptop, WBZ.com, also on Pluto TV.
Straight ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, a grand reopening for Copley Square, but the criticism the changes are receiving.
Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. In the Salvation Army band.
All right, welcome back. We're expecting the weather to move in. And Jason, are we just looking at pedestrian clouds here, or is that part of what we can expect over the course of the day?
Oh, yeah. It's just sort of those outlying bands of clouds that are beginning to move back in here, Chris. And even some flakes that we saw from Sam Chaney earlier in the broadcast. Starting to get a few flakes moving on in here, everybody. 7:15 is your time there. You can see where the mothership is getting ready to land across the area here later today. Conditions will continue to deteriorate as we get deeper into the morning hours, and we also be marching towards the noon hour later on today. We got an uptick from our National Weather Service friends there down in Taunton yesterday evening there. We now have a winter storm warning for the vast majority of areas north of the Mass Pike, getting up into New Hampshire as well as Vermont. An advisory indicating that we have several inches also going to be expected from areas north on 95 all the way through areas south there getting down towards Rhode Island. As of right now, on the north side of this storm system, we saw a lot of those clouds begin to move back in. This is where those bands of clouds are kind of hovering across the board as of right now. Most of the activity is still concentrated back over towards Pennsylvania and also upstate New York. Areas south of Maryland and also Virginia getting a little bit of switch over there. You get that higher terrain, those higher elevations of some of the mountains. You get that wintry mix now beginning to move back in. In areas south, Virginia down towards the Carolinas, that's where the rain bands will begin to move on in. And all this activity is going to be doing this right here and likely hanging out right across the 95 corridor for the Mass Pike. The Mass Pike zone is actually going to be where that warmer air is likely going to be setting up shop. Boston and also Point South mainly dealing with rain as we get deeper into the afternoon, as our temperatures here at the surface slowly begin to warm up, even upwards at about 40 to 50 degrees later today, depending on where your location is, though. If you're north and west of 495, close to the northern Mass, getting up into the Granite State there, you're definitely going to be dealing with some scattered snow showers. So here's the clock stopping at 9 a.m. this morning. Temperature is going to be right around 30 degrees here in the city. Nearing 40 degrees for areas south there, south near the Plymouth region there. Marshville also going to be around 40 degrees. The Cape and the Islands also going to be steadily warming up with that south wind moving into the mid 40s there around noon later today. And also notice the scattered snow showers. This is going to be pretty heavy and also steady snow there. There is not a high level amount of moisture with this storm system, but still nonetheless it's going to be plowable snow. You can see with temperatures right around that 495 corridor northbound north of the Mass Pike will be warming up right around the freezing mark and kind of hanging out there with those south winds becoming north-northeast and eventually moving out of the north later today, and that'll kind of help to kind of pull out of those scattered snow showers a little bit farther down to the Worcester County region, right around 32 degrees there. There's a freezing mark right around 4 p.m. later this evening between Worcester and let's say Taunton. You're going to be warming up 5+ degrees there into the lower 40s. Boston is going to be around 40 degrees later on today, but notice these onshore winds, okay, these easterly winds coming in, keeping things relatively unstable. Moderate to heavy rain for the South Shore, Cape and the Islands as we push deeper into the afternoon. 4 p.m. obviously that's going to be right around the time for the evening rush, so it's going to be very dangerous commuting there across the board. Northerly winds will be wrapping around, coming even farther south there near 495 and 95. Even around 7 p.m. we still have a lot of scattered snow showers pushing north along the Mass Pike and also moving eastbound into the Merrimack Valley. Even 8 to 9 p.m. friends, we are still dealing with activity across the region. It's not until we get past midnight that conditions begin to kind of wind down and temperatures begin to fall back to around about the freezing mark there for several locations, Metro West and also the northern Mass region. We'll be waking up tomorrow morning in the upper 20s and mid to lower 30s there, so ice will be a factor tomorrow morning, unfortunately, Chris, and then an Arctic blast by the end of the week.
Ooh, all right, Jason. Thank you, I think. Hey, it's Snowport Week here on WBZ. The holiday market's got plenty of food, entertainment, and dozens of local vendors from across New England. New this morning, Brianna introduces us to one woman making holiday gifts by hand.
At Citizens Crochet, these plushies are off the hook.
So they're just little pop fidgets, like, sewn on. Like, I really wanted to find a way to, differentiate myself in the market.
Founder Avery Tronson is bringing a lot of energy to her first year at the market and wanted to kick things off in a big way.
I love doing big pieces. It was just like a fever dream of, what's something that's going to be so insane that's going to make everybody stop and look.
Enter Otis.
So this is Otis. He is my biggest project to date. I made him to manifest getting into Snowport at the beginning of the year.
He draws curious shoppers into the booth, but he's just one of the many sea creatures lining the walls.
Our fruit whales are like the staple, the thing that people know us for. For scale, a 6-foot tall person and a giant manta ray.
Originally from Los Angeles, Tronson wanted to pay homage to her hometown.
And we would go to the farmer's market and the beach like all the time.
Now she employs a small but mighty team who hand make all of the plushies available for sale.
6 individual people who work on the plushies in this booth. Everything's designed by me. But everybody's got a little picture on the back of the tag that shows you exactly which crocheter in our collective made your little guy.
She also offers kits for curious beginners looking to get hooked.
Everything's super durable. Like, you can play and yank with all of these things and it won't come out. It's just having the dedication to be able to do this thing over and over and over again.
And while patience is a virtue, sometimes your heart speaks best through your hands.
It means so much. Like, I didn't know what the reception would be from the community. You kind of just have to show up and put yourself out there, and to see so many people connecting with my art and like loving what I put out there, loving my message, loving that I'm, creating American jobs for good working people, like trying to do everything as best I can to support my community, like, and have that be reciprocated is so sweet.
I suddenly want to hug a lobster or an octopus.
So tactile, right?
I know, it's so soft, that feeling of crochet in your hands. It's really cool to go to Snowport, be exposed to smaller shops. Maybe they're not showing up on your Instagram feed yet. You don't know about them, but they're these beautiful homemade gifts.
Yeah.
And it just shows that you put a lot of thought into the person that you bought it for.
And you hit the nail on the head with the discovery.
Yeah.
And that's what's so great about Snowport is almost every aisle you're seeing something new. It's from New England. It's so cool.
How cool. It's like just 6 people who are making everything in that
Stunning.
little shop, and you get to see their little face on the tag. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's great. Great stuff. Thank you, Brianna.
Thanks.
Hey, make sure you join WBZ Friday night to light up Boston's biggest tree at the Snowport. We're going to hear favorite holiday songs from a whole bunch of artists. It all kicks off at 7 o'clock. That's Friday, December 5th on WBZ. All right, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, have you noticed lighter traffic on some days of the week? We'll tell you why it's not just you, it's actually fact.
WBZ's Snowport Week coverage is sponsored by Citizens. Make sense of your money.
Hey, you may have noticed traffic a little rough on Tuesday mornings, maybe better on Fridays. Turns out it's not a coincidence. According to the real estate firm Placed.ai, only about 10% of weekly office visits in Boston happen on Friday. That means more people are opting to work from home at the end of the week. Our partners at the Boston Business Journal say it is a trend that's having real impacts on local businesses, which previously relied on Friday crowds. The busiest single day for working in office is Tuesday, followed by Wednesday and Thursday. Monday, obviously, being a popular work from home day as well. All right, coming up next, Ocean Spray dealing with customer complaints. We'll tell you about the inconvenient surprise some people say they got when they opened their cranberry sauce on Thanksgiving.
You're watching WBZ News.
Hey, if scrolling your feed leaves you feeling angry, you just experienced Oxford's Word of the Year. This is rage bait. It's defined as an online post designed to provoke outrage and drive clicks. Use of the word has tripled in the last year. Beat out two other finalists, aura farming, meaning carefully crafting a charismatic online image, and biohack, which refers to using lifestyle or tech to boost health and performance. Oxford says this reflects a shift from clickbait to content that manipulates our emotions. They hope this really sparks a conversation about how online culture impacts our mental health negatively. Hey, Ocean Spray is responding to viral TikTok videos showing people opening cans of cranberry sauce only to find them filled with water. Yeah, the Middleborough-based company tells WBZ, quote, "We're looking into how this may have happened. Millions of families enjoyed their cranberry sauce this holiday season, but even one can of sauce not meeting expectations matters to us. We've reached out to the folks who shared these videos to learn more and to make it right." All right, still to come in our next half hour, the White House releasing President Trump's MRI report. We'll tell you what doctors are saying about the scan.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. WBZ News Mornings continues with your top stories.
Our next weather alert continues this morning as we track the first wintry mix of the season. Snow and also rain will accompany. We expect throughout the day. We'll talk about the timeline and the impacts straight ahead.
Also this morning, a convenience store robbery caught on camera. We'll tell you the unusual clue that led police to the suspect. New high school graduation requirements are being proposed by the state. I'll tell you what they are and how you can weigh in. And the Trump administration ramping up military presence in the Caribbean despite growing scrutiny. Welcome back. You can see skies still clear in downtown Boston. That is not the case around the Commonwealth. Welcome back. I'm Chris Tanaka. We want to get straight to your next weather forecast with Jason Michael. We've got this alert today, Jason, because snow is coming.
We got a little bit of a kitchen sink type of day ahead for us here, Chris. We're talking about rain, snow, a mix of both of those, wind, and also warming temperatures arriving later today as well. Let's start out now talking about the timing, the amounts of what we're going to be expecting, and also the travel issues likely going to be happening across the area for our Tuesday. Main impacts will be kickstarting within less than 2 hours from now, with most of those impacts will be felt and also experienced north and west of town. We're talking about accumulating snow there, plowable snow, but still nonetheless snow indeed. We are also expecting some steady rain showers, areas south and east of Boston. They're roughly around an inch. Going to be steady rain there, driving rain, blinding rain at times, to allow for some ponding on the roadways and the travel. Not necessarily going to be a major factor, as Chris was just saying. Conditions are, for the most part, dry as of right now in and around the Boston area, but also becoming extremely messy as we get deeper into the afternoon and also the evening commute hours there. Advisory also in effect inside 495, closer to 95 as of right now. This is that purple color wrapping around southern Mass as of right now, and also crawling up through Acton, Middleton, Marlboro, Westboro as well. Haverhill also going to be under that advisory. This basically means we're expecting a few inches of snow in this area here, and areas north. You can see that pink color there, that Pepto-Bismol color I like to call it there. That is our winter storm warning, showing that we're likely to expect at least 6 to 12 inches of snow across some of these areas there, with the higher elevations accumulating the most. This is just a wide range, though. This is not meaning that everybody will receive a foot of snow there. Even if it's about 6 to 8 inches, still nonetheless going to be an issue as we head deeper into the afternoon. Notice this here, friends. Temperatures will be steadily warming up into the afternoon, likely climbing to around the mid-30s in Boston, Chris, and that means mainly rain as we head into the afternoon.
All right, Jason, let's check out the drive times now coming into the city. You can see jammed up on the expressway northbound. However, did want to let you know that we have reports from the T that there was a disabled train on the red line that caused some delays there. So it's going to be slow going, whether you're using the roads or the rail to get into town. Well, days after a software update impacted thousands of planes across several airlines. Actually, this is breaking news, as you can see here. This is out of Nashua, New Hampshire. Crews are on the scene for a massive fire at a building this morning. Sky Eyes on the scene right now. This is on Vine Street in Nashua. We're told this is a 6-alarm blaze with multiple departments responding. No word on what caused the fire or how many people were in the building when it started. Also clear if anyone was hurt on this. We do have a reporter on the way. We'll bring you the latest when we learn more. All right, now to this. Days after a software update impacted thousands of planes across several airlines, Airbus says it is dealing with a new issue. An Airbus spokesperson says the problem is with metal panels on some of its A320 passenger planes due to a supplier quality issue. They say it has now been resolved. It says a limited number of planes will be repaired. And the FAA is now trying to figure out how a plane crashed at Chatham Airport. A small plane went off the runway Sunday night, crashed into a fence, then went into the woods. There were 4 people on board. None of them, thankfully, were hurt. A 19-year-old will appear in court today to face charges in connection to a deadly assault at a home in Norwood. Police were called to the house on Hoyle Street Saturday. A 25-year-old victim was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The medical examiner says he had been attacked with a sharp object. The suspect was arrested yesterday and will be charged with manslaughter and assault. An accused armed robber caught on camera holding a gun, robbing a convenience store in Milford. As WBZ's Louisa Moeller tells us, it was what the suspect was wearing on his feet that eventually led to his capture.
You can see a masked man enter this Milford convenience store, his left hand covered by a yellow dish glove, gesturing to the clerk with some kind of firearm in his right hand. From afar, it may seem like a petty crime. The clerk remained calm and the robber made off with no more than 17 cigarette packs, his ghost face mask and BB gun found by a police dog in the area. But it has Milford Police Chief Robert Tassino fired up.
I like to call it, we need to get off this merry-go-round.
That's because Tassino says the suspect, Adam Basuto, is well known by his detectives.
He's been arrested by our detectives for, oddly enough, armed robbery.
And has a warrant out of Boston for armed robbery for failing to appear before a judge not once, but twice.
Twice he promised to appear, didn't. They still released him.
In this case, Tassino says his officers caught up to Basuto because of his criminal history.
He had been previously arrested for shoplifting at that same establishment. And it was actually the clerk, the manager, that recognized his shoes.
During his arrest, he allegedly struck an officer. Tassino questions why nothing more was done by the court system in Basuto's Boston case.
What do you think would have been a satisfactory option to make sure he didn't commit another crime?
The second that he was arrested for failing to appear, I don't know how he was released once again. How are we serving this individual as a community? Could we have offered him services in between the time that he was arraigned the first time? It appears nobody did any of that.
Basuto is currently being held without bail until his next hearing scheduled for Friday. The court system declined to comment on this story. Louisa Moeller, WBZ News.
Hey, portfolios, projects, research papers, they could all soon be required to graduate high school in Massachusetts. This is part of a new plan laid out by Governor Healy yesterday. The proposal would replace MCAS testing previously needed for a diploma. The governor says students would have to complete coursework proving they know the material. She says this will all ensure students get the most rigorous and useful public education in America.
So we're moving away from high stakes to high expectations and seizing this moment, this opportunity to reach all of our students and make a Massachusetts high school diploma more meaningful than ever.
Yeah, students would still have to take finals, but passing them would not be required to graduate. The state's going to hear comments on the plan. Well, this morning, the Trump administration is ramping up its military presence in the Caribbean despite scrutiny over its strikes on alleged drug trafficking boats. Meantime, the president also pushing to end Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Bradley Blackburn is in New York with more.
President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner and U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff are set to meet Tuesday with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow.
I think that there's a good chance we can make a deal.
For months, President Trump has been working to broker an end to the fighting sparked by Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. While that diplomacy plays out, the Trump administration is stepping up U.S. military presence in the Caribbean, moving the USS Gerald Ford aircraft carrier to St. Thomas. This comes as one of the 21 drug boat strikes on suspected narco-terrorists is now under growing scrutiny. The Washington Post reported Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth gave an order to kill everybody on board before a vessel attack on September 2nd. While Hegseth has denied he gave any such order, Democratic and Republican lawmakers are vowing to investigate.
There's a lack of clarity in what is a very significant military action.
We'll begin our oversight and get to the facts.
On Thursday, Navy Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley, who the White House said ordered the second strike, is expected to provide a classified briefing to lawmakers overseeing the military. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, the White House is releasing details of President Trump's MRI from October. His doctor says the president had the scan to look at his heart and abdomen for preventative reasons. No problems were found. On Sunday, President Trump told reporters he had no idea what body parts his MRI covered, but said the results were perfect. Hey, what happens when you put two of the most famous characters in literary history in a story together?
Yes, there is a bit of a Christmas Carol in it, but there's this great mystery.
Yeah, and Sherlock Holmes is set to solve it. When we come back, a look at a Sherlock Carol. All right, Jason, here we go. Looking at the Pru, people are wondering when the weather is going to hit them and what form the precipitation is going to be.
Oh, we got multiple forms here, Chris. Multiple forms here, friends. All right, we're going to be firming up our weather forecast as we get deeper into our Tuesday afternoon here, friends. You'll see that temperatures are going to be steadily warming up to the heart of our Tuesday here. Even though it's December 2nd, it seems like winter has been going strong for the past couple days or so. Even the rain that we received on Sunday was kind of steady and also pretty chilly rains. Wind chills, as of right now, kind of be largely in the upper 20s across the board there. For the most part, temperatures will be slowly warming up. Air temperature is going to be moving into the upper 20s and mid to lower 30s north of the Mass Pike, and the upper 40s to lower 50s for the South Shore, Cape, and even the islands later today. For the most part, we are still going to be expecting a lot of scattered snow showers across northern Mass there, getting up into New Hampshire and also Vermont. In and around the Boston area, you're going to be kind of dealing with a sloppy mess here as we try to kind of switch over with temperatures from in and around the freezing mark to well above the freezing mark, which is why we're only expecting rain, mainly rain, I would say, south and east of town. In terms of how much rain, roughly around an inch, but it's going to be steady and also heavy at times. Heaviest snow showers are going to be areas far north and west in the higher elevations there. A messy afternoon commute, but the morning commute, I think, is going to be A-OK. You saw from that live picture at the Pru Tower as of right now. 3 to 6 inches across central and also northern Mass. You can see where it's kind of bumping around here. It's mainly following suit some of the higher elevations that we have in the Worcester Hills there. 1 to 3 inches is going to be likely there across southern Mass there, getting into the northern areas of Rhode Island and also Connecticut. A coating up to an inch could also be possible there. Maybe 1 to 2 inches around the Boston area if we get a little bit more of that colder air to kind of notch itself on in here. But warmer air will be overriding the colder air here. Obviously, you know that cold air sinks, warm air rises. And of course, we're going to have some of those warmer conditions just going to help to cement a lot of the steady rain showers for the South Shore, Cape, and the islands. Once you get into the northern Mass region, Gardner, Athol, Fitchburg, over to the Lowell region there, even getting up into the Merrimack Valley there, you're switching over to mainly just talking about some snow showers there. So that column of air will likely remain right around the freezing mark and maybe dip below the freezing mark. A few morning flakes already beginning to kind of tiptoe into the region, coming in there from areas south. This is not the true heart of the system that we're watching there. Some of those outlying bands also pushing some scattered snow squalls right into the Granite State around the Manchester region there. But look at the size of this system, okay? From Maryland all the way down through Virginia, the Carolinas are dealing with that activity. West Virginia, as well as the Buckeye State of Ohio, was also dealing with some scattered snow showers. Northeast Ohio earlier this morning. For the vast majority of Pennsylvania right now, they're just dealing with some steady snow. So even I-80 and also I-70 there is still locked and loaded. A lot of dangerous conditions there. Our dangerous conditions will be arriving afternoon later today. Notice the clock, the top right of your screen there. Steady winds coming out of the south. Lower 40s for the South Shore, Cape, and the islands. Mid to upper 40s going to be likely as we move past 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. later this evening for the Cape and even the islands. Even the south coast, those steady winds coming on shore could actually allow for some splashovers. Even though winds are not a major factor with this storm system, it is still one of the thumbprints of this storm system as well. Colder air north of the Mass Pike and northwest of 495 will be steadily around the freezing mark later today, even as we get past 7 p.m. later this evening. Most of those scattered snow bands will begin to wind down as we near bedtime later this evening, along with the rain showers. Even some of those rain showers could actually linger along the Cape and even the islands there, even around 11 p.m. So even though we're dry and we're also going to be blustery the next couple days here, Chris, the upper 30s, Wednesday and Thursday, it is likely that an Arctic blast is going to keep us in the mid to upper 20s for afternoon highs, wind chills beginning in the sub-zero benchmark on Friday morning, teens in the afternoon, with another threat for rain and snow possible for us on Saturday. So it's going to be a weather roller coaster this week.
Yeah, it really is. Jason, thank you. Hey, we want to stay on top of this breaking news we're following. There's a massive building fire in Nashua, New Hampshire. Sky Eye is over the scene right now. This is on Vine Street. We're told this was a 6-alarm blaze, multiple departments responding. You can see all of the water being poured into those buildings right now. We don't know what caused it, how many people may be involved in this. Also unclear if anyone has been hurt, but wow, that's a lot. We do have a reporter on the way. We're going to stay on top of this and bring you more information as soon as we learn. All right, admittedly quite a pivot there. The holiday season in Boston just got better, from weekly drone shows to holiday markets. There's one organization that's making sure there's plenty to do after the holidays. Meet Boston is calling this Boston Frostival. It's the inaugural winter festival taking place all across the city. I spoke with them to learn more about all the fun and exciting events they've got planned for Boston area visitors this holiday season.
What is Frostival?
So it's an array of programming and events and festivals that will kick off during the holiday season. In fact, coming up starting this weekend with the drone shows that will carry right into first quarter, right into January and February. And it's just an opportunity for us to activate different neighborhoods, first with, holiday flair and festivities, but really to find ways to introduce novel events and experiences that will drive more interest in winter in Boston. The holiday markets, we wanted to add to that new programming that would entice new visitation.
Let's dive into some of the specifics here. You mentioned the weekly drone shows. Let's start with that. Seems pretty cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. So we're going to be doing those on Saturdays, right into starting this weekend, but right through December 20th. 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. We wanted one version to be earlier, to be more family friendly. What's really cool is the first version of the drone shows that will be happening this upcoming Saturday. We'll also have the FIFA mascots. So the Jaguar from Mexico, the Moose from Canada, and the Eagle from the US. So, the World Cup draw is right around the corner as well. So we had an opportunity to have the mascots come to our first drone show. So that'll be a lot of fun. These are about 15-minute shows. Drone shows have become quite popular. We had an experience in Boston with them in April for the 250th of Paul Revere's ride, and it just kind of captivated people. So we thought, why not program drone shows for the holidays, right?
Hey, if you missed the first drone show, well, you're in luck. 6 more are scheduled to take place this month. You can see the dates right there on your screen.
I do not believe in ghosts! Scrooge!
Come for the mystery, stay for the merriment.
This is remarkable. A holiday whodunit featuring 2 famous literary characters. A Sherlock Carol brings Sherlock Holmes into the world of Ebenezer Scrooge. WBZ's Courtney Cole puts the unexpected mashup in the spotlight.
Everyone knows Christmas Carol. Everyone has an idea about Sherlock Holmes. The marriage of these two is very fun.
You can change. You must. Turn back from your present course before it's too late.
For director Elise Robbins, the pairing just makes sense.
There are many Sherlock stories that take place during Christmas. There's also something about Sherlock and his look that feels a little Scrooge-like.
Can you hear me? Local actor Paul Melindi is known for his strong comedic roles. Here, he takes on the more serious part of the pipe-smoking detective.
He can be very quick on his feet and very funny when he needs to be in situations, but for the most part, he's also struggling with a heavy dose of PTSD, some despondency, despair.
I think audiences are going to really, really enjoy seeing this guy take on something that is, not what perhaps his audiences are used to.
Lee Barrett is one of 4 ensemble members who all play a variety of roles.
It's chaos. It's insanity. It's amazing. It's very challenging. I've done multiple roles before, but not quite like this. Not in such rapid succession.
Not so effortlessly.
Oh, he's my favorite. Don't tell the others.
The stellar production design helps move the mystery right along.
This set hides many secrets that I foresee many gasps in the audience.
I literally asked my set designer and my lighting designer for things that I thought wouldn't happen. I thought they were a wish. I just said, could we? And they made all my dreams come true.
The special effects are so cool and so fun. Yeah. And just across the board, the creatives have just really brought their A game here.
My son's 5, and he's going to enjoy the ghosts.
There's the mystery, there's the joy, there's fog and lights and projections. I think it's a great way for a family to spend an evening together.
That was so cool. You can see a Sherlock Carol at the Lyric Stage Company in Boston through December 21st. Coming up after the break, hey, the White House decorations are aglow. We'll tell you about the new ones unveiled today at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
You're watching WBZ News.
Hey, the White House is now decked out for the holidays. First Lady Melania Trump unveiled this year's decorations. Her theme, Home is where the heart is. The display includes 51 Christmas trees and 75 wreaths. I'm Chris Tanaka. You're watching CBS News Boston. We'll be back after the break, but first a look ahead to 8 o'clock. We continue to follow this breaking news out of Nashua, New Hampshire. There is a massive building fire happening now. We're working to learn more information. We'll give you the latest on the response as our crew heads to the scene. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more news and your next weather forecast.
.56, good morning, everybody. Our weather alert continues again today as that storm system gets closer and closer into the region. Notice the timeline and also the temperatures on the map there. Snow showers will begin to ramp up as we near the mid-morning hours into the early afternoon here and likely remain in place as we get deeper into the afternoon as well. Meanwhile, areas south are going to be dealing with some pretty steady rain as we head deeper into the afternoon as well. Temperatures for the South Shore, Cape and the islands poised to climb into the well into the 40s and perhaps even the 50s later today for the islands. Meanwhile, areas north and west of 495 and northwest of the Mass Pike will likely be right around the freezing mark through the afternoon and also the evening hours. 6 to 12 inches north of the state line into northern Mass, roughly around an inch of rain in areas south. We're dry tomorrow and also on Thursday, an Arctic blast arriving by Friday, sub-zero. Afternoon. Right now at 8 a.m. on CBS News Boston, a wintry mix poised to be the demarcation zone between steady rain and also heavy snow. We'll have the timeline and the impacts for your Tuesday straight ahead.
The cities and towns expecting snow say they're ready for the year's first winter storm as dozens of schools across the state cancel or delay classes. We have team coverage.
Just proud of them for working hard and learning this offense and staying on the same page and being on the same page all night and doing a great job.
Drake May tipping the cap to his teammates as the Pats make it 10 wins in a row. Levin is live at Gillette breaking down a dominant win over the Giants.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News Mornings.
Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us. It is Tuesday, December 2nd. I'm Brianna Pitts. We begin with the next weather alert. A mix of winter weather is about to impact our area, and Jason Michael is here to time it all out for you.
A very active Tuesday lies ahead here as we're talking about a next weather alert poised to bring in some rain and snow and also mixed precipitation. The mothership is kind of lowering across New England on this Tuesday morning, everybody. Let's talk about the headlines and exactly what this means here. This will be an all-day affair. Unfortunately, as we watch that changeover line late into the afternoon, we're expecting some steady rain areas south and east of Boston. Higher elevations will receive the most snow later today, and it follows suit with our friends there at National Weather Service, pulling in a winter storm warning for us here, central and also northern Mass into Vermont and also New Hampshire. Winter storm advisory from the Merrimack Valley all the way down through the city of Boston, Metro West, and also southern Massachusetts. A coating up to an inch, maybe a couple of inches right around Metro West region later today. 1 to 3 inches, as you can see there, around that 495 corridor north of the Mass Pike, inside 495, moving east there. You can see the South Shore Cape and the islands mainly dealing with rain. We're not expecting any sort of snow accumulations for areas south and east of town. 3 to 6 inches right in the heart of Worcester County later on today, with northern Mass reaching up into the New Hampshire and also Vermont region. At least 6 inches is going to be expected there, perhaps even some isolated amounts, 10 to 12 there. The timing again will be an all-day affair, at least through bedtime later this evening, closer to midnight depending on your location. Heaviest snow again will be northwest of town there. I just showed you some of the accumulations. Again, those rainfall amounts are going to be roughly around an inch because it's going to be steady. The morning commute today is pretty much a-okay, but the evening commute will be extremely dangerous and messy depending on your location and the precipitation outdoors. So we'll talk much more about that and show you exactly what it will look like on the map coming up.
Well, we are following breaking news out of Nashua, New Hampshire this morning. This is Sky Eye over a massive fire at two multifamily residences on Vine Street. You can see flames shooting out of several spots in those buildings. There is a massive response to this fire with multiple crews. So far, it is not clear if there's been any injuries. Stay with CBS News Boston as we continue to follow this story throughout the morning. Well, a number of school districts have already closed today because of the wintry weather, and you can see those running along the bottom of your screen. For those communities expecting snow today, residents and DPW crews say they're ready. WBZ Samantha Cheney is in Littleton.
In Littleton, you can see it is starting to snow. So for people who are heading out the door right now, you can expect that. Littleton isn't on the list of school districts closed just yet, but as the snow keeps coming our way, parents should be checking that list because it is continuously changing and you may see those changes, so don't be surprised. Yesterday, people were heading out, running their last-minute errands, getting groceries, picking up replacement shovels, and stocking up on ice melt. DPW crews have been installing equipment and loading gear to tackle the snow. According to an official in Fitchburg, that may be a challenge today since the city says they are low on contractors to plow the roads.
We're not getting as many contractors as we have had in the past years, but I think that as this season goes along, we may have some stragglers come in and see about signing up to join the party.
Now, digital signs like this one across the street from us right now, they are placed all across the region saying plow trucks wanted and asking people to call the DPW. So as we deal with this first snow, the DPW is asking everyone to be patient as they are getting out on the road this morning. Live here in Littleton, I'm Samantha Cheney, WBZ News.
And stay with WBZ in the next weather team throughout the day for the latest forecast and travel conditions. You can also get updates anytime at WBZ.com. And WBZ is your home for the Patriots, who have now won 10 games in a row. Drake May leading the team to a blowout over the Giants in primetime. May threw 2 touchdowns to beat New York 33-15, and the Pats now have the best record in the NFL. Levin is live inside of Gillette Stadium, and Lev, the Pats are heading into a bye week on quite the high note.
You know, I feel like the last time the Patriots lost, I was just like a little Levin, and I've just grown now over the, 10 weeks that they've decided to win every game. You know, going into the game, everybody was talking about how the Patriots' offensive line was going to hold up against this giant pass rush. Well, Drake May got sacked 3 times, but for most of the contest, he was pretty clean, and he was able to throw dimes out there on the field. Let's pick this up. Patriots are already up 10-0 in this game, and Drake May says, hey, Kayshon Boutte, how about you get a touchdown pass? That's right, just pretty. Pats go up 17-0, and the route was on. And then he decides to drop one right into the basket of the rookie Kyle Williams. That's a long pass, 37 yards. And check out the feet, 10 toes down, baby. Patriots win 33-15. The squad was ready for this one.
We want to come out here and start fast. And we knew this team has been up in a lot of games, and they got good players over there. They have some good talent, and we wanted to try to get on them fast.
Well, I'm happy to be at the bye. Happy to be where we're at. Continue to improve. We have to finish better, but at least we came out ready to go. We focused on being aggressive and attacking and keeping that mindset, and I think we did.
I will tell you this, it's good for the Patriots to go into the bye with a victory. You know, the team doesn't want to have a bad taste in their mouth. They still have a couple situations they have to fix in the red zone, but guess what? Going into the bye, they feel solid. And I will say this, Brianna, the last time the Patriots lost, it was sunny outside. I had like a short shirt on and everything. Now check this out. There's snow falling.
Yep. It's mad.
And they haven't lost. I mean, it's been the seasons. The Patriots have passed through seasons and not lost yet. So this is a thing.
Yes, Lev, I was just saying it's snowing, and Levin's live shot is just magical at Gillette these days. I saw Vrabel's post-game speech in the locker room last night, and I felt pumped up. It was just so cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so cool to see so many smiles on all of their faces in that locker room. All right, Lev, thank you. All right, well, Patriots fans are pumped up this morning after last night's big win, and we caught up with some diehards at Gillette to get a pulse.
I think it's Super Bowl or bust this year. We're making the Super Bowl. Yeah. We're winning it. Drake May at the helm. I don't know what to say. Yeah. He's up there. He's MVP.
Go Patriots!
So exciting under the lights. Just the whole vibe. Just the vibe is just incredible.
The vibe. All right, for more Patriots, you can tune in to Bert and Ernie Talk Football with Fourier. That's tonight at 9 on TV 38. It's also available on our YouTube channel and streaming over on CBS News Boston. The Pats are officially into their bye week, as we said, so their next game is Sunday, December 14th, when the Bills come to Foxborough. Kickoff is currently set for 1 p.m. right here on WBZ, and that game could be flexed to Sunday night. Well, a 19-year-old will appear in court today to face charges in connection to a deadly assault at a home in Norwood. Police were called to the house on Hoyle Street Saturday. 25-year-old victim was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The medical examiner says he'd been attacked with a sharp object. The suspect was arrested yesterday and will be charged with manslaughter and assault. We are set to hear more testimony this morning in the trial of a Cohasset man accused of killing his wife. During opening statements yesterday, Brian Walsh's team claimed Anna Walsh died suddenly and he panicked. Penny Kmita is covering the trial for us. She has the latest from Dedham.
He never thought anybody would believe that Anna Walsh was alive 1 minute and dead the next.
An elaborate cover-up to protect his 3 children. That's how defense attorneys explained Brian Walsh's actions following his wife's death. The defense claims that Anna Walsh died suddenly in the couple's bedroom on New Year's Day 2023 after hosting a friend for dinner, and that Walsh found her body and panicked.
You will hear evidence in this case of sudden, unexplained death.
The defense wasted no time addressing Walsh's 2 recent admissions that he improperly disposed of Anna's body and misled the police investigation into her disappearance.
What would happen
to their 3 boys.
Defense is telling us, is previewing for us that Brian Walshe is going to testify.
While a defendant testifying in their own trial is rare, legal analyst Jennifer Roman says it may be the only way to give credibility to the defense's theory.
The only person who can testify to what happened from the moment those people, their friends, left the house to when, Brian Walshe is claiming he found his wife dead is Brian Walshe.
Use your common sense. Don't leave it home.
But prosecutors say Walshe knew of his wife's alleged affair and planned to kill her after she missed Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve, pointing to disturbing searches made on their son's iPad.
It's searched. Best way to dispose of body parts after a murder.
Then,
New Year's Eve, everything was fine.
Walsh's interviews with Cohasset Police Sergeant Harrison Schmidt in the days following Anna's disappearance, where he maintained the lie that Anna left home for a work emergency and never came back.
She's been having to cut back on family time, and it's been difficult for all of us.
The trial is going to pick up this morning with more testimony from that Cohasset police officer, followed by testimony from State Trooper Nicholas Garino. If that name sounds familiar to you, it's because we also heard from him during Karen Reed's trial. In Dedham, I'm Penny Commit, WBZ News.
You can watch the live testimony of the Brian Walshe trial on our free streaming service, CBS News Boston. You can find it on the CBS News app, WBZ.com, and Pluto TV. Just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, the newly revamped Copley Square officially open to visitors. We're hearing complaints about its new layout.
WBZ's next weather alert is brought to you by Safety Insurance.
Welcome back, everybody. Our next weather alert is in effect for today, and our motor is just getting crank across New England as of right now. Some of the first morning flakes beginning to crawl up the 495 corridor from the south as of right now. You see some early morning flakes beginning to push into the Granite State and areas north there. The Berkshires will slowly begin to get in on the activity within the hour, and Boston and surrounding areas will also get in on the activity roughly within the next hour or so as well. I have a friend that just gave me a text and said the first few morning flakes have now begun to move into Worcester County. Plenty of rain in areas south there. Another friend of mine is down in D.C. as of right now. Plenty of messy conditions there, allowing for a very dangerous morning commute. As of right now, we have another hour or so until conditions continue to deteriorate in a bigger fashion as we near the noon hour later today. I want to stop here and also show you what the air temperatures look like across the Boston area as of right now. Upper 20s and mid to lower 30s in the Boston area. Obviously, the coldest air is west of town as of right now, mainly in western Mass there and also central Mass. 40s on the Cape and even the islands, where a lot of the rain will be continuing as we near the noon hour later today. Now for Boston, notice temperatures crawling out of the 20s, going into the mid 30s and remaining that way, which is why Boston is going to be mainly expecting rain later today. Yes, we'll receive a few flakes. It's likely going to be mixed precipitation nonetheless there. 1 to 3 inches the farther out you go, but also remaining inside 495, and even the farther north and west you go, the higher the numbers will likely be. 3 to 6 inches going to be expected across central and northern Mass, and even as you crawl farther up to the northern areas across the state line, we have a range of 6 to 12 there. Obviously, not everybody will receive the highest totals there, but we could actually have some isolated amounts around 10 to 12. So again, it's going to be plowable snow, but also very dangerous travel conditions. National Weather Service also upgraded our winter storm watch that we received yesterday. We now have a winter storm warning in effect. That'll likely continue throughout the overnight hours, perhaps even around 1 to 2 a.m. tomorrow morning. Advisory, the farther east that you go, that includes Essex County through Middlesex counties, at least portions of Middlesex County, and also wraps around to southern Mass. So this will be an all-day affair, unfortunately. Again, the higher elevations will receive the most. And as we get into the afternoon, as those temperatures try to right themselves above the freezing mark, we will be slowly watching and steadily watching that changeover line as well. And that means that the demarcation zone between warmer air, rain, and also colder air, snow. Notice this pink line and look at how it just kind of slivers up the spine of 495 and 95 as we get into around the noon hour later today. 40 is going to be overspreading the region. We actually could have temperatures for the island of Nantucket, maybe Martha's Vineyard, climb to around 50 degrees later today. The rain showers will be steady and heavy, around an inch or so could be also expected there. And again, I just showed you some of the snowfall totals there. Most of the scattered snow showers will be continuing past dinner time, closer to bedtime later this evening. It's not until midnight that not only do we get drier conditions to take over, but the winds are going to be out of the north. So that means colder temperatures and perhaps even some ice waking up on your Wednesday morning. We're not done there, though. A notch of colder Arctic blast of air will be slipping down into the northeast there, reinforcing the cold as we close out the week heading in towards the weekend. And then yet another system will be crawling up the Atlantic coast, poised to move on into the region by the start of the weekend there. But the key takeaway is Friday will be the coldest with sub-zero wind chills to start.
All right, and speaking of the snowflakes, take a look at the current conditions outside as the snow begins to move in across our area. This video was taken in Westford this morning by our executive weather producer, Terry. If you are getting ready to leave the house, just remember to give yourself enough time for the commute, slow down so you can get to where you are going safely, but a decent little coating there. All right, the brand behind an iconic Mass-based candle company is making some big staffing cuts. Newell Brands, which owns Yankee Candle, says it's laying off more than 900 workers across all of its brands starting this month. It also says it'll close around 20 stores throughout the U.S. and Canada early next year. So far, it hasn't specified which locations. Well, hundreds of people gathered in the Back Bay last night to celebrate the grand reopening of Copley Square and to kick off the holiday season. The city lit the first tree to stand in the square in 3 years. The 140-year-old park just underwent nearly $19 million in renovations. The city says the changes increase shade, seating, and accessibility, but some residents tell us they just wish it had more grass.
Yeah, that whole front part being just like a block of cement is kind of harsh.
In the city, it's also nice to have grass where you can get it, but you know, the garden's just down the street.
Mayor Wu did address the lack of grass when the square partially reopened on Marathon weekend. She says the new design is the result of months of community conversations. Well, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, one woman helps me explore the craftier side of Boston's Snowport Holiday Market.
watching WBZ News.
It is Snowport Week here on CBS News Boston. The holiday market has food, entertainment, and dozens of vendors from across New England. And I had a chance to meet one woman who's hand-making holiday gifts. At Citizens Crochet, these plushies are off the hook.
So they're just little pop fidgets, like, sewn on. Like, I really wanted to find a way to, differentiate myself in the market.
Founder Avery Tronson is bringing a lot of energy to her first year at the market and wanted to kick things off in a big way.
I love doing big pieces. It was just like a fever dream of, what's something that's going to be so insane that's going to make everybody stop and look.
Enter Otis.
So this is Otis. He is my biggest project to date. I made him to manifest getting into Snowport at the beginning of the year.
He draws curious shoppers into the booth, but he's just one of the many sea creatures lining the walls.
Our fruit whales are like the staple, the thing that people know us for. For scale, a 6-foot-tall person and a giant manta ray.
Originally from Los Angeles, Tronson wanted to pay homage to her hometown.
And we would go to the farmer's market and the beach, all the time.
Now she employs a small but mighty team who hand make all of the plushies available for sale.
6 individual people who work on the plushies in this booth. Everything's designed by me. But everybody's got a little picture on the back of the tag that shows you exactly which crocheter in our collective made your little guy.
She also offers kits for curious beginners looking to get hooked.
Everything's super durable. You can play and yank with all of these things and it won't come out. It's just having the dedication to be able to do this thing over and over and over again.
And while patience is a virtue, sometimes your heart speaks best through your hands.
It means so much. I didn't know what the reception would be from the community. You kind of just have to show up and put yourself out there, and to see so many people connecting with my art and loving what I put out there, loving my message, loving that I'm, creating American jobs for good working people, trying to do everything as best I can to support my community, and have that be reciprocated is so sweet.
And join WBZ on Friday to light up Boston's biggest tree at Snowport. We'll hear favorite holiday songs from the Grace Notes, Lord Childs, Bermuda Search Party, and more. It all kicks off at 7 p.m. on December 5th right here on WBZ. Well, coming up next, we've got the new graduation guidelines for Massachusetts high schoolers.
WBZ's Snowport Week coverage is sponsored by Honda. Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today. You're watching WBZ News.
Portfolios, projects, and research papers could soon be required to graduate high school in Massachusetts. It's part of a new plan laid out by Governor Healey yesterday. The proposal would replace MCAS testing previously needed for a diploma. The governor says students would have to complete coursework proving they know the material. She says it will ensure students get the most rigorous and useful public education in America.
So we're moving away from high stakes to high expectations, and seizing this moment, this opportunity to reach all of our students and make a Massachusetts high school diploma more meaningful than ever.
Students would still have to take finals, but passing them will not be required to graduate, and the state will now hear comments on the plan. Still to come in our next half hour, Dan Roach goes one-on-one with Patriots offensive lineman Morgan Moses to talk about the team's 10th straight victory.
CBS News Boston is now streaming live on our YouTube channel every morning from 7 to 10 a.m. So if you're watching us streaming on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channel, CBS News Boston. Now, streaming on CBS News Boston, WBZ News Mornings continues with your top stories.
Right now at 8:30, next weather alert in effect for today as we track rain, snow, and also a mixture of both. Temperatures climbing with steady rain causing some ponding on the roadways. We'll talk about the timeline and the impacts ahead.
Plus, a convenience store robbery solved quickly. What the clerk noticed about the suspect that helped police track him down. And the fee you'll soon face at the airport if you don't have a real ID. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brianna Pitts. We continue our next weather alert. A mix of winter weather is about to impact our area. Jason Michael is here to time it all out for you.
Also active here on this Tuesday, we're expecting there, Brianna, with snow, rain, and also a mixture of both moving on in. We had a video earlier from our executive producer, Terry Ellison. He's saying the first morning's flakes beginning to move into the region. As you can see, it's tracing right along southbound there on 495, moving up to the north as of right now. Just mainly dealing with some blowing flakes as of right now. A little bit of flakes out in the Worcester County region, but we have more snow on the way, everybody, and it will be highly impactful as we get past the noon hour later today. Notice we have 3 different ingredients associated with the storm system: rain, a mixture of rain and also snow in areas north. Steady snow bands will be moving in, and also steady rain bands will be moving in. So it'll be a tale of 2 different situations depending on your location later today. Obviously, the warmest air is actually going to be along the South Shore, Cape, and the islands later today, and the coldest air will be north and west of town into northern Mass and also reaching into the Vermont and also New Hampshire there. Current air temperatures are in the mid to upper 30s for the city. So when anything happens in the city, it's going to begin as rain because the surface temperatures are in the mid to upper 30s as of right now. We'll have plenty of clouds across the region as of right now with a slow rollout of warmer temperatures as we move into the afternoon. Here are the latest numbers as of right now. Take your pick. What do you want here? We got 1 to 3 inches across areas of 495, close to the 95. The more eastbound that you go on the Mass Pike, the lesser amounts of snow you will likely receive. A coating up to a couple inches in and around the Boston area, certainly Metro West. Just mainly dealing with rain again for the South Shore Cape and the islands. Going to be steady and heavy later into the afternoon and the evening. So the evening commute is going to be extremely wet there if you're going to be traveling for the South Shore Cape and the islands there. Steady snow bands in northern Mass, 6 to 12 inches north of the state line. We'll talk much more about these potential impacts, Brianna, coming up.
Okay, Jason, thank you. Well, we are following breaking news out of Nashua, New Hampshire this morning. This is Sky Eye over a massive fire at 2 multifamily residences on Vine Street. So you can see flames shooting out of several spots in those buildings. There's a very large response with multiple crews responding. So far, it is not clear if there's been any injuries. Stay with CBS News Boston as we continue to follow this story throughout the morning. Well, Trump administration officials are stepping up the diplomatic push to end the war in Ukraine. This as the U.S. continues its military buildup in the Caribbean amid scrutiny of U.S. strikes on suspected drug trafficking boats. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn has the latest from New York.
President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner and U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff are set to meet Tuesday with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow.
I think that there's a good chance we can make a deal.
For months, President Trump has been working to broker an end to the fighting sparked by Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022. While that diplomacy plays out, the Trump administration is stepping up U.S. military presence in the Caribbean, moving the USS Gerald Ford aircraft carrier to St. Thomas. This comes as one of the 21 drug boat strikes on suspected narco-terrorists is now under growing scrutiny. The Washington Post reported Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth gave an order to kill everybody on board before a vessel attack on September 2nd. While Hegseth has denied he gave any such order, Democratic and Republican lawmakers are vowing to investigate.
There's a lack of clarity in what is a very significant military action.
We'll begin our oversight and get to the facts.
On Thursday, Navy Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley, who the White House said ordered the second strike, is expected to provide a classified briefing to lawmakers overseeing the military. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
An accused armed robber caught on camera holding a gun as he robs a convenience store in Milford. And as WBZ's Louisa Moeller tells us, it was what the suspect was wearing on his feet that eventually led to his capture.
You can see a masked man enter this Milford convenience store, his left hand covered by a yellow dish glove, gesturing to the clerk with some kind of firearm in his right hand. From afar, it may seem like a petty crime. The clerk remained calm and the robber made off with no more than 17 cigarette packs, his ghost face mask and BB gun found by a police dog in the area. But it has Milford Police Chief Robert Tassino fired up.
I like to call it, we need to get off this merry-go-round.
That's because Tassino says the suspect, Adam Basuto, is well known by his detectives.
He's been arrested by our detectives for, oddly enough, armed robbery.
And has a warrant out of Boston for armed robbery for failing to appear before a judge not once, but twice.
Twice he promised to appear, didn't. They still released him.
In this case, Tassino says his officers caught up to Basuto because of his criminal history.
He had been previously arrested for shoplifting at that same establishment. And it was actually the clerk, the manager, that recognized his shoes.
During his arrest, he allegedly struck an officer. Tassino questions why nothing more was done by the court system in Basuto's Boston case.
What do you think would have been a satisfactory option to make sure he didn't commit another crime?
The second that he was arrested for failing to appear, I don't know how he was released once again. How are we serving this individual as a community? Could we have offered him services in between the time that he was arraigned the first time? It appears nobody did any of that.
Basuto is currently being held without bail until his next hearing scheduled for Friday. The court system declined to comment on this story. Louisa Moeller, WBZ News.
Well, Saugus police have identified 2 men wanted for an attack on a mother and her 3 kids. This happened last week in the parking lot of the Square One Mall. Investigators say the suspects pulled a knife on the family and punched an 11-year-old boy in the stomach. There's no word if the suspects are in custody. Police are not releasing their names because of their ages. Well, days after a software update impacted thousands of planes across several airlines, Airbus says it is dealing with a new issue. An Airbus spokesperson says the problem is with metal panels on some of its A320 passenger planes due to a supplier quality issue that's now been resolved. It says a limited number of those planes will need to be repaired. And if you've not gotten your real ID yet, it's going to cost you to fly. Starting in February, the TSA will charge passengers a $45 fee to use a different form of ID. The updated ID has been required since May, but passengers without it have been allowed to clear security with extra screening and a warning. 94% of travelers show up to the airport with an acceptable form of ID. Still to come on CBS News Boston, Dan Roach and ESPN's Mike Reese break down the Pats' latest victory. Plus, we'll hear from offensive lineman Morgan Moses. That's next. Now.
Welcome back, friends. Next weather alert in effect. We got snow and rain and a mixture of both moving into the region. It's still quiet as of right now. A lot of people are getting out to get to work here again this morning and do some of those early morning errands before the conditions continue to deteriorate. What we do know is once things start to go downhill, it's going to be an all-day affair through the evening and possibly nearing the midnight hour as well. Some of the heaviest snow will likely be north and west of town. They're mainly dealing with rain south and east of Boston later today. The morning rush is okay. We're giving you a green light there, but by the time we get to midday today, it's going to be in a yellow light for sure with a red light for the remainder of the day. Once we get to about midnight, conditions begin to improve there, but still nonetheless, we're going to be left with a lot of snow on the ground. The farther north and west that you go, 3 to 6 inches likely in the Worcester Hills. Northern Mass across the state line, 6 to 12 inches. Again, some of those isolated amounts, 10 to 12. The farther east that you go on the Mass Pike, including Boston, will likely be around a coating up to an inch of snow with mainly rain south and east of town. And this follows suit right along with our friends at National Weather Service with that advisory in Metro West there, right around areas of northbound on 495, 95, southbound there through the Boroughs region, across the areas along the southern Massachusetts area there, but right in the middle, that Pepto-Bismol color that increases as you get to areas north there with that winter storm warning in effect for our Tuesday. The first morning flakes, look at that. Looks like smoke coming in there out through the Providence region there, moving up there across the 495 north of the Mass Pike there. There are the first flakes moving back in, but the heart of the meat of the storm system is still hundreds of miles away. We'll be on the north side to start before that warmer air begins to move back in. Here's the clock. Keep an eye on that and also your place on the map there. 30s and 40s to near 50 degrees for areas south there, south coast, as well as the islands. Will be with some steady and also the heavy rain there. Notice these onshore winds coming in out of the south and also east there. And those easterly winds will likely push a lot of that rain right into the coastline there. So we could expect some splashovers. Wind gusts for today will not be a major tenet of the storm system, but still we're going to be expecting around 20 to 30 miles per hour gusts later today. But again, that driving force with that steady rain could actually limit visibility. Meanwhile, let's go up to areas northern Mass, going to be right around the freezing mark as we head deeper into the afternoon and likely remain that way past sunset later on this evening through the early evening and perhaps even around 8 to 9 p.m. We're still going to be dealing with some scattered snow showers. This will be the time that we're just going to kind of put the cherry on top with a lot of the scattered snow showers up there and maybe help to cement that 6 to plus inch range across the state line. As we near midnight tonight, drier air moves back in, but northerly winds will begin to take over. So temperatures will be falling once we get past midnight tonight and likely settling around the lower 30s, perhaps even the upper 20s. So ice will be a factor for tomorrow morning. 20s areas north and west of 495, 30s and lower 40s outside as of right now, poised to climb into the mid 30s, which is why Boston is mainly going to be dealing with rain later today. Again, it will be an all-day affair for us here. Snow far north and west, higher elevations receiving the most snow, but also keeping a close eye on that changeover line. That's that pink color there, which is a very dangerous sort of tenet when you're talking about traveling. After tomorrow and also Thursday, an Arctic blast of air will be slipping down from Canada and the Hudson Bay region, and that will allow for an Arctic plunge to move on in. As we go to bed on Thursday, air temperatures are going to feel like the upper teens, perhaps even the lower teens there. But as we wake up on early Friday morning, take your pick. What do you want? Do you want lower single digits to feel like 3 degrees here in the city of Boston and sub-zero west of 495? So it's going to be a very active weather week, everybody. Hang on to that roller coaster before we start to get some drier and warmer conditions moving back in.
Well, we are following breaking news out of Nashua, New Hampshire this morning. There is a massive fire at 2 multifamily residences on Vine Street. You can see flames shooting out of several spots in those buildings. There is a massive response to this fire. Multiple crews are responding. Joining us now is our Samantha Cheney, who is in Nashua with the very latest. Samantha, what can you tell us?
Well, Brianna, I can tell you right now, all hands are on deck here on Vine Street in Nashua as firefighters try to get these flames under control. I want you to take a look right now. Multiple fire trucks are here on the street from different places. We have one from Hudson, Manchester, Lowell. They're all here to assist in this effort to get this fire under control. Now, this was so intense, this fire was so large that it did require help and response from more than just Nashua firemen. And now we see everyone out here today. This fire just blazing through these buildings. Right now we can see they are still inside. We have different ladders up right now. They are hitting these flames from different angles, just trying to make sure that they can extinguish it. We have seen some residents out here covered up with blankets. We know that this is really the first big snow of the season, so it is really an unfortunate situation. A lot of people out here will be displaced tonight while it is so cold and it is snowing right now. We are told that right now there are no known injuries at this time. We see these 2 buildings still that fire still blazing in both of these buildings. So as we get more information on this, you guys, will be sure to keep you updated as we are going to be out here all morning bringing you updates with more information. So stay tuned here. I'm Samantha Cheney right now in Nashua, New Hampshire, WBZ News.
All right, Samantha, reporting up in Nashua. Thank you. Well, the Patriots head into their bye week as the hottest team in the NFL. 10 straight wins now, and they are the first team to win 11 in the sport. Our Dan Roach and ESPN's Mike Reese broke down the team's latest win last night against the Giants and where the team stands now that they get to rest up.
All right, Mike, let's get right to it. Your thoughts as they hit the break. 11-2, winners of 10 straight. They roll over the Giants here and get it done again.
Impressive energy right off the bat to me, Dan. You know, I felt like they were holding on a little bit in the previous couple games, and I was curious how they were going to come out against the Giants when they were shorthanded without the left side of their offensive line, without two of their top three defensive tackles, and the way they played was just so impressive to me given those circumstances.
They let nothing hold them back either. Their depth, you know, they get the starting left side with the rookies, Will and Jared Wilson out, and Ben Brown and Vidarian Lowe just take over, and they did it with all three phases of the game, too. Defense, they got some big hits. Christian Ellis had the big hit on Jackson Dart, who afterwards in the game said, you know, it's football, it's not soccer. I expect those hits. And then also Marcus Jones, a record breaker, really, with what he's done.
And I think with Marcus, to me, he's the best NFL punt returner. And so when you have him, I mean, I if I'm an opponent, I probably wouldn't kick to him, but they kick to him, right? And he makes them pay, you know, Dan. And I think when you have him and when you have Drake May, who's one of the best, if not the best, quarterbacks in the NFL, he might be the MVP after a night like tonight, Dan. And they play at that level, it can raise everyone else up too. And so I think the sky really is the limit. I mean, it's a little bit of a cliche, but when you get guys playing like that, I really think you can beat anyone.
And yeah, it looked like they could have put up 50 points against the Giants tonight. They kind of let the foot off their gas a little bit in the second half. All right, so let's wrap it up. You're standing in front of this team, Mike. You're Mike Vrabel. What are you saying now as they go to the bye?
Yeah, so they'll come in on Tuesday, have a meeting, and then I think it's, hey, get healthy, take a little break. You've earned it, but know that we're just getting started. You come back, Dan, look at that schedule. Home against the Bills, on the road against the Ravens. I mean, we've learned a lot about the team up to this point, but we're going to learn even more about them after those two games. And then you got two more after that. Finish it up at the Jets, home against the Dolphins, and then who knows how many more you have after that. The fact we're even having that conversation.
It's crazy, Mike, that they've won 10 in a row. They've won 10 straight games.
Other than Steve Burton, who would have had him at 13-0 at this
Steve
point.
Picks him to be 17-0 anyway.
Who else would have thought this was possible?
I know, right? And he doesn't even think it's possible. He just picks them every time, too. So, all right, yeah, so enjoy the break, Mike. We'll see you. Yeah, coming up. Looking forward to it. We'll be working, as we always do.
And one big question mark last night for the Patriots was how the offensive line was going to hold up, especially with key injuries to Will Campbell, Jared Wilson. While they rose to the occasion, Dan spoke to Morgan Moses after the game about the group's great collective effort against the G-Men.
Morgan, man, you guys hit the bye week like you wanted to hit it. You know, had a lot of injuries. On that offensive line, you're banged up. Let's start with that. Let's start with Ben Brown and Vidarian Lowe and what you saw from them tonight.
Ben's been there a couple of times this year, and V's been waiting his time, and I think that's just hats off to him, man. Just working through everything throughout the all seasons, training camp. Encouraging Will as the starting left tackle, but then his opportunity and being able to go out there and shine. So big hats off to him.
How much can it help you too? A new coaching staff. He talked this week about Josh McDaniels helping him too. Yeah. And how much does that help getting the coaching? Because he was under a lot of fire last year at that position.
When you have people that are around you that believe in you, it makes it a lot easier. And obviously the pressure is going to be the pressure, but pressure makes diamonds. And when you got a guy like V that's played a lot of football and gets that opportunity, and he's been spot on all week in practice, not getting down on himself, but asking questions and leaning on other people. And when you have that brotherhood and that camaraderie in the room, it's easy to go out there and play.
How much was the fast start emphasized this week for you guys? Because you certainly took it to them right away.
100%, man. We're confident in who we are in this locker room, and we all, Steph says it all the time. We all we need, we all we got. And so when you have that mindset to be able to go in there and get the drive going and get the things going, we talk about get the first down and get the ball moving, and when you're able to do that, man, the sky's the limit.
Coming up at 9 a.m., we are set to hear more testimony this morning in the trial of Brian Walshe, the Cohasset man accused of killing his wife. We will be carrying that trial live on CBS News Boston. Good morning. It's 8:53. I'm Brianna Pitts. We'll have today's top stories, but first, meteorologist Jason Michael is here with a look at that next weather forecast. And Jason, that snow moving in, I'm watching crashes starting to pile up west of the city.
Arriving right on schedule, Brianna. Forecast verifying again this morning as we near the 9 a.m. hour. Conditions beginning to deteriorate across western Mass as of right now. More of the flakes are also going to be moving in along the Mass Pike in areas north of 495. Heavy, steady rain will actually be taking over the South Shore Cape and the islands as we move past the noon hour later today. And temperatures begin to climb out of the 30s and near the 40-degree mark. For the most part, the South Shore Cape and the islands will be dealing with steady rain as we head deeper into the afternoon and the evening hours, and likely continuing after 7 p.m. later this evening. Meanwhile, areas north of the Mass Pike and north and west of 495 will be dealing with some steady snow showers as well, around 3 to 6 inches, but several locations will actually be appreciating more than 6 inches, certainly north of the state line. 6 to 12 will be that range as well. Once we get past midnight tonight, drier conditions and also more stable conditions will begin to take over. We're talking about 20s and even lower 30s overnight tonight as we wake up tomorrow morning. Ice will be a factor, so make sure you watch your step tomorrow morning. Mid-30s tomorrow afternoon, Thursday afternoon, but an Arctic blast will pull in some much colder air. Sub-zero wind chills and teens to start on Friday. 20s in the afternoon with sunshine, with more rain and perhaps even a few flakes threatening the start of the weekend.
All right, let's get a check of those travel times out the door. You see those on your screen. I want to list off some crashes for you as well. Out in Boxborough on 495 southbound, we have a rollover crash. 2 lanes are blocked at exit 78 for Route 2. We also have a crash on the Pike westbound in Framingham, on Route 3 northbound in Tingsboro, and on 495 northbound in Milford. Again, all of those situated north and west of the city for drivers right now, so please be careful. We are set to hear more testimony today in the trial of Brian Walshe, the Cohasset man accused of killing his wife. Here are your top stories. During yesterday's opening statements, his legal team says that Anna Walshe died suddenly at home and that her husband panicked when he found her body. They say his attempts to hide it explain Walsh's recent guilty pleas to misleading police and disposing of a body. Coming up today, a Cohasset police officer will be back on the stand, followed by a state trooper who also testified during Karen Reed's trial. You can watch the live testimony of Brian Walsh's trial on our free streaming service, CBS News Boston. You can find it on the CBS News app, WBZ.com, and Pluto TV. Well, a 19-year-old will appear in court today to face charges in connection to a deadly assault at a home in Norwood. Police were called to the house on Hoyle Street Saturday. The 25-year-old victim was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The medical examiner says he had been attacked with a sharp object. The suspect was arrested yesterday and will be charged with manslaughter and assault. The brand behind an iconic Mass-based candle company is making some big staffing cuts. Newell Brands, which owns Yankee Candle, says it's laying off more than 900 workers across all of its brands starting this month. It also says it will close around 20 stores throughout the U.S. and Canada early next year. So far, it hasn't specified which locations. Ocean Spray is responding to some viral TikTok videos showing people opening cans of cranberry sauce only to find them filled with water instead. The Middleborough-based company tells WBZ, quote, "We're looking into how this may have happened. Millions of families enjoyed their cranberry sauce this holiday season, but even one can of sauce not meeting expectations matters to us. We have reached out to the folks who shared these videos to learn more and make it right." This has been a WBZ News Update. If you are watching us on CBS News Boston, we'll be back in a few minutes. Have a great day.
Right now at 8 a.m. on CBS News Boston, a wintry mix poised to be the demarcation zone between steady rain and also heavy snow. We have the timeline and the impacts for your Tuesday straight ahead.
The cities and towns expecting snow say they're ready for the year's first winter storm as dozens of schools across the state cancel or delay classes. We have team coverage.
Just proud of them for working hard and learning this offense and staying on the same page and being on the same page all night and doing a great job.
Drake May tipping the cap to his teammates as the Pats make it 10 wins in a row. Levin is live at Gillette breaking down a dominant win over the Giants.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News Mornings.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us. It is Tuesday, December 2nd. I'm Brianna Pitts. We begin with the next weather alert. A mix of winter weather is about to impact our area, and Jason Michael is here to time it all out for you.
A very active Tuesday lies ahead here.
Happening now, day 2 of the trial of Brian Walshe, the Cohasset man accused of killing his wife. Things do seem to be getting underway in court. Let's listen in.
Morning, Honor. Tracy Cusick for the Commonwealth.
Good morning to the Commonwealth.